There was a man named Ray Berkowitz. He was at work one day when his wife called in a panic. She was going into labor. Ray hurried to the hospital as fast as he could, thrilled that his son Charles was about to be born. Another time, while Ray was out of town for work, he received a similar call. His wife told him the baby was coming. He rushed home but didn't make it in time. She delivered a healthy baby boy before he arrived. She called to share the good news, and Ray drove through the night and into the next day until he finally reached the hospital. Overflowing with excitement, he ran straight to the maternity ward and into the nursery area. There he found a large glass room with a sign above the door that read, "Beautiful babies." He hurried inside. "I want to see my son," he said. "Name?" asked the nurse. "Charles Berkowitz." She scanned her list and shook her head. "Sorry, sir, your child isn't here. Try the next nursery down the hall." Perplexed, Ray walked to another large glass room, also marked "Beautiful babies." "All right," he thought. "If he's in here, he'll have a pretty easy life looking handsome." He stepped inside. "I want to see my son, Charles Berkowitz." Again, the nurse checked her list. "Not here. Try the next nursery down the hall." Ray continued on until he reached a room labeled "Ugly Babies." "Looks don't matter," he reminded himself. He walked in with a smile. "Please, I want to see my son, Charles Berkowitz." The nurse frowned at her list. "Sorry, sir. He's not here either. Try the next nursery down the hall." Now dejected, Ray followed the hall to a smaller room, not made of glass, with a modest sign, "Very Ugly Babies." It doesn't matter what he looks like, Ray thought. I'll love him no matter what. He stepped inside. "Please, I want to see my son, Charles Berkowitz." The nurse checked her list and sighed. "I'm sorry, he's not here. Try the next nursery down the hall." Worried now, Ray walked down a long, dim corridor that ended at a single steel door. On it was a small plaque that read, "Charles Berkowitz." A devout Christian named Tom lay on his deathbed. His pastor came to visit, stepping quietly into the room. But the moment the pastor entered, Tom suddenly began to struggle for breath. Alarmed, the pastor hurried to hand him a slip of paper so he could write one final message. With trembling hands, Tom scribbled something down and pushed the note back to him. Thinking it might be too personal or emotional to read right then, the pastor slipped it into his pocket to read later. Moments later, Tom passed away. At the funeral, the pastor decided it was time to share Tom's last written words with the congregation. He reached into his pocket, unfolded the note, and read it aloud. "Bastard, get off my oxygen tube." It was a normal day in the hospital when a blonde woman walked into the burn ward with both of her ears badly burned. The attending doctor had never seen anything quite like it. "How did you manage to burn both ears?" he asked. "Well," she said, "I was ironing my work clothes when the phone rang. I accidentally picked up the iron instead of the phone." "That explains one ear," the doctor said, his eyebrows climbing as high as they could. "But how did you burn the other one?" "Well, I had to call an ambulance, didn't I?" A blonde was shopping at Target when she spotted a shiny silver thermos. Fascinated, she picked it up and brought it to a clerk. "What is this?" she asked. "That's a thermos," the clerk explained. "It keeps hot things hot and cold things cold." "Wow," said the blonde. "That's amazing. I'm going to buy it." The next day, she brought the thermos to work. Her boss noticed it on her desk. "What's that?" he asked. "It's a thermos," she replied proudly. "It keeps hot things hot and cold things cold." Her boss nodded. "So, what do you have in it?" the blonde replied. "2 popsicles and some coffee."